Hiking alone is something I used to enjoy. There's a certain kind of peace that comes with being out in nature, away from the noise of everyday life. But after what happened last summer near Shawnee National Forest in Illinois, I don't think I'll ever do it again. It was late July, and I had just moved to Carbondale for work. I didn't know many people yet, so on weekends, I'd drive out to different hiking trails and spend a few hours exploring. One of the first places I checked out was Garden of the Gods, a well-known spot with incredible rock formations and scenic overlooks. But after a few crowded visits, I wanted something quieter. That's how I found Rimrock Trail. It wasn't as popular, and the first couple of times I went, I never saw another person. The trail wound through thick woods, leading to a small overlook. It felt untouched, isolated, peaceful. That should have been my first warning sign. One Saturday, I decided to hike it again, but I got a later start than usual. By the time I parked at the trailhead, the sun was already starting to set. I told myself I'd be quick, just a short walk to the overlook, snap a few pictures, and head back. About a mile in, I started to get that weird feeling like I wasn't alone. I stopped and listened. Nothing, just the distant sound of leaves rustling in the breeze. I shook it off and kept walking. Then, a few minutes later, I saw something. Up ahead, just off the trail, there was a man standing between the trees. He was tall, wearing what looked like an old hoodie and jeans, but something about him wasn't right. He was completely still, too still, like he wasn't even breathing. I hesitated, debating whether to turn around, but then he did something that made my stomach drop. He grinned. Not in a friendly way. It was too wide, too unnatural, like he was enjoying the fact that I saw him. I muttered a nervous "hey" and picked up my pace, keeping my eyes on the trail. My car wasn't too far back. If I hurried, I could get out of there in a few minutes. Then I heard footsteps behind me. Slow, deliberate. I didn't turn around. I just kept walking, trying to act like I wasn't completely terrified. The footsteps stayed a few paces behind me, never getting closer, never falling behind. Then, out of nowhere, they stopped. I risked a glance over my shoulder. He was gone. The trail was empty, just trees and shadows. I should have felt relieved, but somehow, that made it worse. I practically ran the rest of the way back. When I reached my car, I jumped in, locked the doors, and started the engine. Just as I put it in reverse, I looked up, and my blood turned to ice. There, standing at the tree line, was the man, still grinning. I don't remember much after that. I just remember flooring it out of there, not looking back until I was miles away. I never went back to Rimrock Trail. I don't even like driving near that area anymore. Because that night, I learned something. There are things in the woods that don't want to be found. And sometimes, they let you know.